Hey hustlers, so one thing that you probably have noticed about my channel lately is that I'm not just obsessed with fitness, but I'm also obsessed with research. I'm obsessed with basically doing it in any particular subject. Fitness, business, Microsoft Excel, health, civil service, stuff like that. But one of the things I actually have been obsessed with for the past couple of weeks is coming up with new business ideas. In this particular way, it's been related to fitness. And one of the ways I kind of fed my curiosity was actually based on this book that I got from one of my libraries nearby. Now, one of the pages that I saw in this book was basically according to... Actually, I wrote it down in my notebook. That's another thing. I try to keep every video unscripted because I want it to be completely natural, straight from my mind. I can't stand it when I watch a YouTube video and like everything is perfectly controlled and scripted, because then it doesn't feel real. It almost feels like basically it's robotic. So basically on page 27 of this book, it basically says one of the best ways to determine whether your idea will succeed in your community is to talk to people you know. If it's a business idea, talk to coworkers and colleagues, run personal ideas by your family or neighbors. Don't be afraid of people stealing your idea. It's just not likely. Just discuss the general concept. You don't need to spill all the details. So with that being said, one of the ways I did to kind of fed my curiosity is I obviously am not going to go door to door knocking on people telling them about this business that I came up with. Instead, what I did was I basically sent out a Google Forms on Snapchat and I asked, will this business be a success? I gave some perspective research. I talked about how there's some pushback on fitness influencers, but also there are some people advocating for them filming in gyms. So basically my ultimate punchline was, therefore, I am doing research on if someone were to start a business that is fitness content creator friendly, a safe haven gym for fitness influencers to work out, film their content, and have all the provided equipment necessary without anyone attempting to cause any hesitation or intervention of progress compared to most gyms. And then the question that I wanted the respondent of this Google Forms was, I want them to either answer, if you think yes, please say why, or I wanted them to answer, if you think no, please say why, even pie. Because basically it was 50% were saying yes, this business would be a success, and 50% were saying no. So first, let's talk about the reasons why people think that this would be a success. This first comment, yes, there are so many fitness influencers at this point in time, and I think they would appreciate something like this, and so would the regular gym goers who don't want to be filmed. So this is the logic that I'm starting to see from some of the comments, but even from this one right here, is that if people were to advocate for this particular business idea, they would basically want to take all the regular gym goers that just go to the gym, that just want to live a healthier lifestyle, they just wanted to not be on the verge of obesity, and they just want to live a overall happier life through physical fitness. That's more of an average kind of choice. And then there are people that are more drawn towards the fitness influencing side, where they have completely radical beliefs about how they value physical fitness and how they want to use it to help other people. In this case, this person kind of wants them to be cut in half, so that way there is not a clash of different ideologies on physical fitness. Because in today's culture, from my experience and from all the other research that I found, there has been an ongoing clash. Now for this next comment, because then you could add in phone stands and stuff and people could have their space to film and not be in the way of other people just working out. Oh my god. This would be an amazing idea where basically, let's say you go into a gym and let's say the squat rack already has a mount attached to it where you can either put your cell phone or you can put your camera attached to it. You would save a ton of money on tripods, and it would encourage people to be able to film from any angle they want, and they wouldn't have to worry about it filming other people. Because here's the thing, whenever I've also spoke about this 2 videos ago, where I said that it's not exactly ideal to film with a smartphone. Another reason why I forgot to mention why it's not ideal is because a smartphone can't be mounted to a whole lot. You have to kind of like prop it up against your water bottle or a wall or some other device. And what ends up happening is literally every single extra gets caught in the shot. For those of you who have seen behind the scenes clips from certain movies, you'll see that people who weren't supposed to be in a shot but somehow got in, those are called extras. and a phone just takes in a ton of extras. But these mounts will basically decrease the chances of that happening. And the next comment, yes, while some fitness influencers post videos showing off bulks, cuts, pumps, things as such, some influencers can be helpful and motivational to others when needing help at the gym, and seeing that type of content is something that can bring more people to the gym. So yeah, it's another way of motivating people to just see their progress and saying, hey, if this person is able to look like that, then so can I. It's the same algorithm that you see on most fitness transformations, but you're able to see it in real life, captivated in real life. Now there's 2 more comments. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can. Yes, plus the self-proclaimed gymfluencers are always in the way and get mad if you walk in front of the camera. I don't get mad. Before I continue with this comment, there is something I want to address. If you walk in front of my camera, I'm not going to give you a hard time. I honestly am perfectly fine with restarting the footage. That's why I love using this Canon so much. It also allows me to have more time at the gym. But here's the thing. The only time where I am going to get annoyed if someone walks into my shot is if they get angry back. Like if they say, hey, move your camera, then you might get me a little agitated. But other than that, if someone walks into my camera, I'm not going to lose my mind. I don't think that's gym etiquette, proper gym etiquette. Walk in front of the camera, but they shouldn't be recording when other people are anyways, as it makes the regular gym people uncomfortable. I would love for them to go somewhere that allows recording because that would keep them away from us normies. Just trying to work out in peace. And so yeah, I kind of this is basically me reiterating the same point I made from the first comment. It's just that this one kind of gave a much more elaborated explanation for what I was saying. And then this was the final comment. This has a lot of potential in urban markets where there's a large customer base like LA, New York, Boston, Miami, etc. There's 2 main target customers, influencers and people who want to film themselves to see their form of progress. I think these 2 groups can coexist, but the gym would have to be marketed as filming friendly gym and not just for influencers, because that would drive away more serious people. So before I released this Google Forms, this was kind of my takeaway on this business idea, is that technically, yes, this gym would not be able to get a huge collection of members if it's filmed in any particular area, especially if it's in a rural area where it's hard enough to get people to go to your gym. But if you're able to get it to a influencer dense area, like they mentioned, like let's say New York City, Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida, you would get a lot of people who would notice that this gym stands out from other gyms because it encourages them to just be themselves with their content creator lifestyle. Alright, now it's time we move on to the more negative comments. Alright, so for this first one that said no, they said, it's bound to fail. You're catering to a very small specific group of people, gym influencers, within an already specific group of people with gym memberships. It's pointless and likely not going to change anybody's pre-existing membership to a gym. Plus, knowing that people will be filming all they want at this gym, people will want to avoid being on camera. And then they said, Lil Baby, my favorite rapper. Skiing emoji. Whatever that means. Anyway, so before I continue, I just want to say I'm really starting to see a commonality with some of these comments where they're basically saying that the whole reason why this gym would not work is because it's basically applying to a smaller market or a niche market. Now here's the thing, does that have some risks? Yes, it does. But if there's one thing I've learned from my strategic management class, it's that a small market isn't necessarily a bad thing all the time. It has its risks, but if you look at other businesses, like let's say Bugatti, now Bugatti technically is not an enormous market because basically they sell incredibly fast, incredibly expensive cars, but you're not going to be able to walk into a Bugatti store the same way you would if it's a Ford, a Honda, or something like that. Yet they still bring in lots of money every year, millions. And part of the reason why they do that, despite being a smaller market, is because they've recognized that they have the resources, the key personnel, and the money and research to make it all happen. So I'm not saying that that's a perfect example. I'm just wanting to debunk the idea of that a smaller market being bad or harmful for a business. It has its risks, but it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time. For this next comment, there's not a big enough demand for this, and unless it's in an influencer dense area, Houston, LA, New York City, I honestly think the filming components would not matter for the majority of lifters. Also, this would turn off people who are anti-gym filming, which is undoubtedly more people than the filming population. So this is something that really makes my blood boil in the fitness industry, is that there unfortunately is an ongoing, I actually wouldn't even say ongoing, I would just say that there is currently a much larger demographic of people who go into the gym that are against people who film in there than people who are advocating for that. And because of that, it's up to not just people like me, it's up to people who are obsessed with being content creators in general, especially if it's in the fitness industry, to stand up and basically convince them otherwise. We don't make people understand our thoughts of view by force. We don't make people agree with us by acting aggressive or rebellious. We get people to understand our points of view by presenting research, logic, and personal experience. And that is something that we can all use when we're trying to convince others to see the full benefit of the content creator lifestyle. Now, here's the thing. I'm not the best representative there is. I make my YouTube channel purely just for my own fulfillment. I'm not doing this to get tons of subscribers, but I genuinely feel really good every time I make a video, and even if just one person gets to see it and gain some insight from it, and even some motivation. But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to do that if more and more people of society embrace this closed-minded mindset. Alright, let's continue. This next comment, because gyms can implement this safe haven at any time at no cost, and then it will make your business obsolete. So I have one response to that. If gyms can implement this safe haven at any time at no cost and make my business obsolete, why haven't they done that already? I honestly think it's because they don't want to. It's up to this new demographic to create that new gym. So here's the thing, as of right now, anytime you're driving, anytime you're walking, anytime you're just in any public area that happens to have a commercial gym around the corner, you really can't name a gym that says we're content creator friendly. By all means, take your camera in here, set it up wherever you want, and do your thing, you're a free citizen. The reality is, in today's current fitness culture, that's just not real. No gym is implementing that. So, if any gym can implement this at any time, it almost looks like if anyone is supposed to do it, it's people that support the content creator friendly gym. Now, there is one final comment. Very niche market. Regular people probably don't want to be filmed working out, so only fitness influencers will go. Alright, I've already made this statement before, and it's that the majority of these comments are drawing to the same exact conclusion, that because it's a small market, there's not enough consumers. I'm going to reiterate one more time. A small market is not necessarily a bad thing. It has risks, but it's not always a bad thing, and if anything, it can be beneficial for the business.